We finally made it to my favorite video of the leverage operating system, which is being able to take all of the value that you have and we can actually turn it into real income. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the revenue stack and building out your $25,000 a month business. We're going to see exactly what you need to be doing and what you should be focusing on in order for you to be able to reverse engineer this to making sure that this can actually become a reality. Because this is not something that's done by chance. It's not something that is just for the lucky or the people that are blessed. This is actually something that is predictable because math is extremely predictable, which is why I love it the most. We're going to be able to look at what a $25,000 month looks like, what you should be doing in order for you to be able to get to that $25,000 per month, and how you can be able to focus and build the system around making sure that you can be able to get this as a repeatable result. I know for me specifically, when I first got started, I was just building a business off of passion. I would look up the first month I looked up, it's like, wow, I just had my first $10,000 month. I literally had my first $10,000, $25,000, and $50,000 month back to back to back. And it was back in, I believe it was either December or November of 2021 or 2022. Can't really remember. It was one of those years. I think it was the year right after COVID. So 2021. I looked up and it's just like, hey, I'm just passionate about business. I'm building. And then I look back and it's like, wow, we went from 10,000, the next month, 25,000, the next month, 50,000. And then I'm looking up and in the year of 2022, those first 3 months, I was able to make over $115,000. Not by just doing things off of, by chance, but I had a specific model in place and I had people actually trusting me enough to be able to want to work with me. My model at the specific time, I only had really 2 offers. The first offer was, in order for you to get started, was $250. And then I charged $150 per month. I had about 300 people in my community when I finally crossed the threshold of being able to make $50,000 a month. And I realized, wow, this is something that is going to be the rest of my life. Like, this is what I'm going to live the rest of my life off of, because I was able to impact people's lives for a living. And that's what truly made me happy. The money was the bonus, but me being able to actually impact people's lives and be able to get them results, taking them from A to B, getting them some type of transformation. That's what made me fall in love with the business. But the numbers, it was like, wow, this is something that can be able to be scalable, and we can be able to turn this into something that is real and not just something that, is by chance, or I'm just always dreaming that it can be able to happen. So I'm going to make this real for you. We're going to go through, we're going to figure out what you need to be doing. We're going to reverse engineer that $25,000 a month, and we're going to get it from Z to A. And then we're going to go from A to Z. And this is my favorite part because it's numbers. All right. So without further ado, the first thing that you have to focus on, obviously, is going to be your revenue stack. And in your revenue stack, the first thing that you need to have is your offer price. Your offer price is simply, what are you going to be charging for the things that you're actually offering to the marketplace? The next thing is going to be conversion rate. You now have an offer. Well, how many prospects actually become buyers? We're going from the traffic aspect. Remember, the next thing is going to be conversion. So based off of the traffic, how many prospects actually become buyers? And this is basically done through volume. How many people actually see your offer? And then the next thing is going to be systems, things that you can be able to repeat that can be able to promise you this result without you. Like, although I didn't have all the best systems in the world, one thing that we did have in place was some type of system for people to come in, know exactly what to do in order for them to get started. And I wasn't the person that was talking to all 300 of those people. People knew exactly what the offer was, the way that we had it positioned. We will obviously, edify and do 3-way calls and all of that stuff, because it was the old way of doing things where, everything was done word of mouth. But we had an offer price. We had some type of volume. We had a conversion rate, and the conversion rate might have been a lot more higher because it was word of mouth marketing and it was done through, the trust triangle. But as far as the leverage, people were able to walk through this system and get started and be able to find their result within their first 24 to 72 hours without me in some type of way. In your particular business, you got to figure out what your offer price is going to be. You got to figure out how much volume you actually need and what a conversion rate is going to actually look like. And then we focus on building the systems to make sure that people can be able to get the results. So as far as this, it starts with the revenue stack. It starts with being identifying what the overall problem is so that we can solve the problem. So first one, we're just gonna look at this in regards of we're gonna have $100 offer, $1,000 offer, and a $10,000 offer. Low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. All right. So as far as your $100 offer, and you don't necessarily have to do them at this particular rate, but this is just for the video's sake so that you can be able to see the difference between how simple this truly is. We got our $100 offer, right? What we need in order for us to be able to get to $25,000 a month, our monthly goal being $25,000, offer price $100 a month. We know that we need 250 sales per month. So we know we got to focus on low price and high volume. The traffic requirements in order to do this is just generic, conversion rates. Some people's conversion rates are going to be a little bit higher. Some people's conversion rates are going to be a little bit lower. The lowest that I would say a good conversion rate is if you do everything the way that we're going to set you up here in Leverage Room. If you do everything correctly, you're going to have anywhere between at least a 2 to 5% conversion rate. Obviously, we want to get to the 5% and higher, but just let's look at the worst case scenario. All right. So 2%, you got a 2% conversion rate. It means that 12,500 people need to be able to see your offer. And if you have a 5% conversion rate, it means that 5,000 people need to be able to see your offer. And low ticket businesses are pretty much traffic businesses. Volume is going to be everything. Most of the time when you focus on having a lower offer, you got to be able to push out extreme amounts of volume, which is okay because when you are building content and you're compounding content, that volume will escalate quickly. The next thing that we need to focus on, the next particular model that we want to focus on is the $1,000 offer. This is what I like to call balanced leverage because essentially the goal stays the same. The offer price changes, but look at the amount of sales that is needed. We go from 250 sales to only 25 sales to be needed. And as far as let's just say, the lead generation requirements, you got a 5% conversion rate, meaning that 500 qualified leads per month is what we're going to need in order for us to be able to make the $25,000 a month per goal with a $1,000 offer. And the reason why these conversion rates are higher is because most of the time you start people out with low ticket and you're going through and you're building up trust. If you have a $1,000 offer in place, you've been able to at least bring them down a cycle to where they can trust you enough to where now these people that you're working with are more so qualified. When you have a lot of high volume, you're going to have a lot of low quality leads that come in. But once we convert those leads and we have more qualified leads and you upsell or you try to offer the people that got started with your $100 thing, the $1,000 offer model, because it's based off of being able to have trust and authority and they've been able to, look at you and see you as a person that has clarity and certainty, we can look to see our conversion rate go up a little bit higher. But if we're just looking at it from a 5 to 10% rate, we want to make $25,000 a month, 500 qualified leads per month. We need to be focused on 250 qualified leads per month if we have a 10% conversion rate. So this is just being able to reverse engineer everything. Mid-ticket businesses are clarity and consistency businesses, which is why I said most of the time, people that are going to actually purchase this offer is going to be somebody that you actually built the relationship with, or they've been able to trust you enough to look at you as somebody that is in a position of authority and they want to be able to work with you. So the mid-ticket business is based off of clarity and consistency. All right. The next offer, our $10,000 offer, this is going to be high leverage, low volume. Same goal, offer price changes. You only need 2 to 3 clients instead of having 250 clients. But the conversion example, if you had 20 to 30 conversations per month with a 10% close rate, this is something that is possible for you. High ticket businesses are trust and position businesses, quality over quantity. You will only want to work with a few people at this particular rate because that's the higher the offer, the more proximity they have to you and the more you can actually be able to help them be personalized and being able to get to their specific goal. But as far as looking at this from a math problem, guys, you can obviously see if we have a $100 offer, we need 250 sales. We have a $1,000 offer, we need 25 sales. We have $10,000 offer. We only need 2 to 3 sales. So it's up to you which one you actually want to, partake in. I do recommend having an offer for every person, but you need to start with one. One thing that I'm going to always reiterate is you cannot go out here and try to start everything and do everything at once. When you try to focus on having a $10,000 offer, $100 offer, $1,000 offer, all within the same thing, all you're going to do is run yourself thin because you're splitting your focus in so many different ways. Focus on being able to craft one offer first. Focus on being able to get clear enough to be able to explain to people what your one offer is first. Get clear enough and position yourself well enough to be able to get one offer first, and then we can be able to diversify. And when you have a team of people like you do inside of Leverage Room, and you're able to meet other entrepreneurs and other business owners that are also trying to do the same things, you start to see how simple this really is because you are able to learn from the people that are around you that are doing the same exact things. So outside of these 3 different models, it's the same income, different systems. Your $100 offers requires attention and volume. You got to master traffic generation and conversion funnels. The next one is your $1,000 offer. This is going to require a lot of clarity and consistency, and you build it through repeatable sales processing and messaging people and building relationships with them. Your $10,000 offers is all about positioning and certainty. So you want to be able to establish authority and deliver the transformational results that you have, that you're being able to offer. The goal has never changed. Only the type of leverage that was used is what changed. So let's go ahead and reverse engineer this goal. How can we build toward $25,000 a month with clarity and with confidence, not by chance, right? So first, decide what your monthly income target is. I put $25,000 per month because that's the goal. I want everybody in Leverage Room to be able to surpass that $25,000 a month range. And then obviously we don't have any limit here in Leverage Room. Everything that we do here is to build up to where we can be able to get in a position to where we're limitless. There's no limits on the amount of success that we have. Money is forced to say yes to us. Money does not know what no looks like when it comes to us. But start where you are. If your goal is only to make $5,000 a month, start where you are. If your goal is to make $50,000 a month, start where you are and focus on where you are. All right. Decide your monthly income target and set a clear goal, specific revenue goal, and then choose your offer price. Select the model that fits your strengths in your market. Now, and the only reason why I put market here, I know we said earlier in some of our first videos that the market does not necessarily determine your prices, you do, but you have to have a market where people are actually paying for your thing, which is why we focused on making sure that we had a problem that was severe enough, meaning that there's a demand for the amount of people, or there's a demand for the amount of people that can actually be able to pay for your offer. So select that model that fits your strengths. What are you good at? Go back through and figure out your identity shift, or go through and figure out the identity shift, the value stack that we had based off of the results, experiences, skills that you have, and the perspective. Figure out how to bottle all of that up and choose what you want your offer price to be. Calculate the required sales that you need in order for you to be able to reach your target goal. So the math is simple. We got income divided by price. That means how many sales you need. So if you know that you want to make $10,000 per month and your thing is $500 per month, then you need to take that 10,000 divided by that $500, and you need 20 sales per month. Now, after you do that, build the systems to support it. Create the consistent processes for people to have lead generation as well as conversion. They should be able to go from seeing you for the first time to being able to become a part of your thing with ease. It shouldn't have to be any type of confusion. They shouldn't have to ask, well, where can I get started? Or what do I need to do in order for me to get started? Although that is a question that most people are going to ask, still, it should be already put in place to where once they ask that question, you send them a link and it immediately takes them down a specific funnel that they are able to get in front of your offer, pay for your thing, and become a part of the movement that you are actually creating. Once you know the numbers, the fear eliminates. Because all fear is a lack of understanding, a lack of awareness of what's on the other side. The reason why $10,000 a month feels like it's super hard, or the reason why $100,000 a month feels like it's super hard, is because we have never been able to reverse engineer to see, hey, I know what my income goal is. I know what my offer is. Now I need to focus on everything that's based around me being able to convert enough people to be able to make enough sales. All right. So the three truths behind this: your income is not random. Business is not random. The people that find the most success are not doing it randomly. Although when you first get started, I know for me, it felt random because I was just going through and I was just doing things. I was able to get to that particular point just off of having the right ambition. But through time and through being able to grow and have a lot more wisdom, being able to reflect and see, none of that stuff was random. Although it felt random at the time, there's specific things that I was doing that led to me being able to get to that goal. And once you figure out what those things are, then you are able to identify what I got to focus on. Let's focus on doing more of this thing that's going to work. Let's focus on not doing the things that are not necessarily working. So it's the result of intentional choices and consistent execution that's going to determine what you actually have as your income. Now, systems is what's going to actually remove the emotion that you have. When you have predictable processes that people are going to go through on a day-to-day basis, regardless if you are there or regardless if you are not, that's what's going to eliminate the guesswork and the anxiety, not just for you, but for the team that you are building, for the people that you're meant to help. When you're able to do this, then you're not worrying about, wow, are people getting stuck here? Why are people not converting? What are the things that we need to go in and change? And when you have a system in place, you can be able to identify these problems quicker to be able to say, all right, let's get this done and let's fix this. When you don't have a system and you're just doing things based off of just hustle, you're doing things based off of just labor, when those problems arise, you don't even know what the problem actually is because you've not been able to identify the problem because it's not in a specific system to be able to glance at it and see, wow, this is the thing that needs to change right here, right now. I know for me specifically, like with business, it's all about being able to look at the things that are doing good and look at the things that are doing wrong in a glance and be able to say, hey, we need to do more of the thing that's doing good. We need to do less of the thing that's doing wrong. If you don't have a system, then you're going to be looking in all of these different places. And that's what's going to create the guesswork, the confusion, the anxiety, and all of that stuff that is not needed. All right. And then the last thing for the three truths: leverage always replaces hustle. The entire point of the leverage operating system over these last few videos that we've spent together was to figure out exactly how we can be able to make leverage replace the hustle. Yes, we want to continue to work hard, but we want to work a lot more smarter. We want our time or our income to not be capped off by the amount of time that we put inside of a thing, but we want to be able to have systems in place so that we can be able to scale to higher outcomes. All right, without you burning out. That's the key part, without you burning out. So outside of this is how you turn your value into predictable income. $25,000 month, $25,000 months aren't magic. They're simple math. So your next steps, this is what you need to do right now. If I were you, in order for you to be able to get the fastest results and get to where it is that you see yourself, whatever your goal may be, figure out what your offer price is, calculate your required sales, build one focused system. Don't try to build all of these different systems at once. Execute that one system with consistency. Your numbers are not going to lie. People lie. Numbers don't lie. Systems don't lie. So now that we understand what the numbers look like, we know that we need to be able to have a system in place. Now it's our turn to go ahead and start building it. Now, the leverage operating system was the foundation for all of this, but the execution is going to happen inside of the community. And the reason why execution happens inside of the community, there's 4 disciplines to execution. The first discipline is lag measures, and then you have lead measures. Look at a lag measure is this. What is your overall goal? That's the first thing that you need to focus on. As you can see here in your next steps, choose your offer price, calculate the required sales, figure out the system that you need to use, execute it. What is your overall goal? Is it 10,000? Is it 25,000? Is it 100,000? Is it 500,000? That's the lag measure. Your lead measure is going to be the actions that you need to take in order for you to be able to get to that particular goal, the reverse engineering, right? So what actions need to happen in order for me to be able to reach my goal of 25,000, 50,000? The third thing is going to be, you need to be able to have some type of scoreboard, meaning you need to be able to track what the score is for where you are inside of your business. Imagine a sports game without a scoreboard. You just be looking at them out there like, wow, man, like, what is it to watch? We're not really moving anything. These guys are just BSing. Your business is the same exact way. If you don't have a scoreboard to be able to track your growth, then nothing's really being able to grow. The fourth thing, which is the most important one, which most people do not have, majority of the people that are failing, they just don't have this fourth thing. It's accountability. It's having a team of people that are going through some of the same things that you're going through, but are able to get out of it because they're able to, for one, hold each other accountable, and holding each other accountable is pretty much us lifting as we climb. There's no reason for you to have the same exact failures if you know that somebody else may be doing the same thing, but they were able to do this thing differently, and now that's why they have that result. So those four disciplines to execution, if you don't have all four of them, it's going to be hard for you to execute anything. You got to know what your lag measure is. What is your overall big goal? What are the actions that you're going to take in order for you to be able to get there? Where's the scoreboard for how close or how far you are between these goals? And where's your accountability at? Which is why I said execution happens inside of the community. Here in Leverage Room, this is a place for you to ask questions and get results. That's my overall focus, to make sure that we are able to build an empire, build a movement of people that can ask questions, get results. Ask questions, get results. We take action, we ask questions, we get results. All right. And if you want to be able to accelerate this and make it to where you can get to your goals even faster, then we can talk about you becoming a part of the VIP Mastermind, where we go in and we make sure that this is able to be done without any type of confusion. We make sure that you don't have any hardships or any type of fail. There will be failures because it's always going to be a first attempt in learning between anything that we do. But we're going to make sure that those failures you're not having to go through by yourself. So this was one of my favorite videos. It's probably going to be the longest video on in this particular module, for the simple fact that this is what proves to you that your dream is possible. Your vision is real. You are meant to be the person that is making $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 per month. There's no limit for the amount of money that can be coming inside of your business. And right now, if you have a vision, if you have a unique gift, if you have something that is inside of you that has been saying you are meant for more, that thing has actually found its place where it can actually be able to thrive. And I'm happy to be here to be able to help you get to wherever your goal actually is in whatever way I can. All right. So this is going to conclude the Leverage Operating System. Rewatch it as many times as you have to. Ask as many questions as you have to. Take action so that you can get results. There's no way for you to get results without taking action. There's not a place to lurk. Now that you know what to do, it's on you to actually do it. This is going to be the conclusion of this video. I'll see you guys inside the community. Let's be winners.